All right. Welcome to Spoiler Kings. My name is Tankcramer. I'm with Will, Papa MD.
Yo,
How you
yo,
doing, man?
doing great, man. Anniversary today with my
Yeah,
wife.
man. Congrats. Congrats. How
Whew.
many years?
It's been 5 years married and 9 years dating, or 9 years knowing each other, I guess I should say.
Ah, nice. Ah, we got a sub. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Was it
sub. We
Cynthia
appreciate that.
Leanne? I think that was Armando. Appreciate it, dude.
All right.
Um, yeah. So how many years was it?
So 5 years married. So
5 years.
today's our marriage
Nice.
anniversary. We went to a place down in, what is it, Wrigleyville? No.
Wrigleyville.
Oh, no, Old Irving Park. Wow, way off.
Older.
I don't pay attention when I go on car rides. Anyways, we went to this brewery that's turned to like a nice sit down restaurant. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Awesome, man.
Yeah,
Congrats, you guys.
thank you, thank you.
Congrats. But cool, man. So this week we're doing Jungle Cruise, which is Disney's new attraction ride movie turned into a movie kind of thing. So, have you ever been to Disneyland or World?
So funny enough, I've been to Disney World when I was in like what second grade for a nice week, or I think we stayed for long enough
For
to
a while.
remember. And I liked it. I liked it. I don't know if they had the Jungle Cruise back then, did they? Has this been like a
I'm
long
not sure.
ride running? But
I'm not
I
sure.
do remember like a lot of water rides, some log rides. They had like
Yeah.
Jurassic Park at the time was very popular. So
Oh,
they had
yeah,
like the
yeah,
big like face like when you go down a scary ass ride.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they at Universal or something.
Yes, Universal
I mean, it's hard
Studios.
not to do both when you go.
Seriously.
But Jungle Cruise is when I first went to Disney, Jungle Cruise was probably one of my favorite rides. I wind up recording the entire ride when I went, and it's just funny because they say all these goofy jokes, and
Mm.
it's a fun ride. Nothing major happens. It's just a
Okay.
little cruise. You go down a boat, and somebody is just being goofy and funny, as they go through it.
Okay.
Just a fun ride. I love it. It's goofy. You just sit and chill. So I love it.
Dope.
But you want to get into everything on this one?
Yeah, let's check out the trailer. Let's
I'm
kind of
out.
read a little
I'm right
synopsis
here.
about the movie, kind of refresh our brains a little bit.
I'm out.
Oh,
She's out, bro.
she's getting into that the
Michael
game.
Myers is chasing somebody, but we're good.
All right. Let's play this bad boy.
All right.
So,
Oh my god.
oh man, this movie is so a quick little rundown of it. Dr. Lily Houghton, which is played by Emily Blunt, enlists the aid of a wisecracking skipper, Frank Wolf, played by The Rock, to take her down the Amazon in his ramshackled, beat-down boat. Together, they search for the ancient tree that holds the power to heal all kinds of illnesses. A discovery that will change the future of medicine, Lily hopes. Also on the ride is her brother. I couldn't get the name of her brother. But it's her brother. I don't remember.
McGregor.
McGregor. There you go. McGregor, her brother McGregor. So they go down the Amazon. So this is based off the Disney park attraction called the Jungle Cruise. And this movie takes place around 1916. So they go a little old school with it. And it kind of tells the legend of the famous conquistador. I'm gonna murder his name because I can't roll my R's. Is Lope de Agura?
Aguirre. I would say Aguirre.
There you go. That's right.
Aguirre.
Yeah. So, and he's a famous conquistador, and he's best known for his final expedition down the Amazon River in search of the mythical golden kingdom of El Dorado. So, but in this movie, he winds up searching for the ancient tree as well. Jungle Cruise has all the corny jokes, just like the ride, plus high action scenes. And let us know what you guys like or dislike about this movie as we discuss it a little bit more. But yeah, man, this movie was pretty good. It was fun. It was something I thought was gonna be kind of about it, but it wound up being pretty good.
I liked it.
Better than expected, I would say.
Okay.
How many
similarities did you see amongst the movie as well as what you would experience on a Jungle Cruise since you've been on it? And
on the actual movie, so the part where where The Rock is on the boat with the actual tourists, and there are like things popping out and stuff like that. That's kind of like like the hippo is there, and it's like, yeah. Then they say all those corny jokes
Oh, yeah.
are all in the ride, and it makes the ride amazing. It just makes it amazing. It's so fun. And it's so good, but it kind of is even, and the best part was The Rock says those stupid jokes the entire movie.
Yes.
And it's not just during the part where he's actually doing a little tour with those people. It's like the entire time. And I just liked it that they gave this ride some background, some lore, like, like the people now doing the Jungle Cruise say the corny jokes because Frank Wolf, The Rock, said all these corny jokes back then, and he was the first one. So I see they can do different things. But there were some controversies in the ride. The big one was Trader Sam. So Trader Sam in the movie was a female, like I guess like an Amazon native. In the ride, it's more of a like a person that shrinks heads. I forgot what, like
voodoo,
like a voodoo kind of guy. He had the top hat too, which in the movie she wears the top hat because she takes it from the brother McGregor. Right. So it's like, oh, that's how Trader Sam got the top hat. But they do a lot of like, he's more of like a voodoo-y kind of thing. And I guess it was kind of offensive. So they wound up taking it down in the past, I want to say 2019. I want to say they took it down. And they just kind of rolled by. And it wasn't that big of a part of the boat ride. It was just kind of like, there's Trader Sam standing on the side. But they also have a restaurant in one of the resorts called Trader Sam's based off that character. So, and Trader Sam's, I love that. That was one of my favorite places to drink. We went to Monorail, went there, and every time you ordered a crazy, stupid tiki drink, the lights will dim and people come out, and it was a blast, dude. A blast. I still got some mugs from when we went there. Cool. But that was a big controversy, and I didn't expect them to throw in Trader Sam. They revamped it, made it to a female, and also kind of made it more Amazon native rather than like a voodoo kind of
indigenous people.
Yeah.
That's where we're trying to touch on.
So it seems like it's maybe a little less offensive, especially if people like her. They're like, oh, look, here's the new Trader Sam, and if she's well liked, in the movie, I can see them putting that character back on the ride.
I feel like it worked. I mean, I didn't see too much offense. I didn't feel like she was the butt of the joke of anything, like where she got thrown under the bus. No, she was fine. Yeah. Strong character. Didn't have many lines, but didn't paint her in a bad light either. So
no, I agree. I liked her. But yeah, man. So what are some things that like you enjoyed or didn't enjoy?
So I guess the things that stuck out to me the most, I'm a sucker for puns. So hearing The Rock saying all those jokes, they were like dad jokes too, kind of.
Yeah.
Making me laugh hilarious. Do I have an example of those, man? Let's see. I don't have anything ready, but just the jokes overall, they get to me so much, man. Especially when you have to play on words. And then, like, even
the toucans, like that's a thing.
Killed me.
Yeah,
something about what was that joke? I don't even remember that one. But he just kept going on and on and on. There was no off button with this pun joke marathon that we had.
If you got to ride the ride, man. If you when you go there,
yeah,
you're right.
I want to now.
Yeah,
I will say like the puns, they didn't get too repetitive, or they didn't get to be too much. So I like that. I like that they didn't like go overboard, but they did give you a healthy portion of puns and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, here's one with the toucans. He goes, "Oh, there's a couple of toucans. If we had another, we could have a 6-pack. He goes, but only 2 can or something like that.
Two can play that game or whatever.
Yeah, only 2 can play that game.
Oh man, I did like the bird. I kind of liked what's his name, man. I feel like I should have had more of what's his name, man. The bad guy, red hair.
Which one? Because there was kind of 2 bad guys in this one.
Conquistador, and then
and then there's Prince Hakim, whatever they.
Yeah, I couldn't even say it. I was trying to repeat it after he said it, like because he said it right.
He said it with like a weird accent.
But Prince Joachim or something like that.
Joachim, yeah.
He was good, man. He was a good bad guy. The accent was on point because that's not his real accent. I think the earliest I've ever seen him was in like was he in Breaking Bad or something like that?
He was in Breaking Bad.
Was he younger?
I think yeah, he was much younger.
And he has range and what he can do acting wise.
Yeah,
he did a great
Black
job.
Mirror, I believe, in Black Mirror. Jesse Flemings.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
he was great. Emily Blunt was great. I like how they kind of this is based in the 1916 something like that.
1916, yeah, early 1900s.
So back then they kept mentioning, they kept calling Emily Blunt's character Pants, like hey Pants, blah blah. It was a big deal that women would not wear anything other than dresses. And so very sexist, very old school mentality. And so they kept getting mentioned, but it wasn't to the point where like it like degraded her in any way. Like I don't think of it like that. A lot of times when, people mention about the olden days, like, oh yeah, women should wear dresses and do this and that, people get really bad. But no, they just kept mentioning like, hey, you look weird. I'm not used to it. That's what they kind of put it as a joke. And yeah. But she did so well because she wore pants. She was really progressive as a female. She was really doing things that she wasn't supposed to. She was writing articles and writing things that got rejected by publishers. And so she tried
by all the medical field group people.
Yeah. She was the whole purpose of the movie was like she was trying to find something, the magical pedal for science, so she could like cure illnesses and do all this other stuff. She didn't want to let the pharmaceuticals win, I guess. She kind of knew early on what was going on.
Big Pharma's bad.
Yeah, she knows what's up, man. But I like that. What I didn't like was near the end. Spoiler alert. They get to the end where they get to the tree, right? The magical tree that's like underwater, and there's only one petal that was grabbed, right?
Yeah.
And Emily Blunt gets gifted the petal from The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, and so he gets turned to stone because of the curse that's within. I'll kind of let you explain that if you want to explain that. The curse that he's cursed with. He turns to stone, and then she gives him the petal. What was the whole point of the whole cruise? If you were going to give away the petal, what? Because of love? No, you could have saved millions of lives.
Yeah,
millions. You could have been.
But I think that's what they did. It was he was taking it for like a selfish reason. Like why The Rock wanted to take it was more. I wouldn't say like selfish, like he was gonna like go rule the world. Like what the Prince Joachim was gonna do. He was gonna he was gonna use the petal and do bad things with it. Where Frank was gonna just kind of cure himself, and so he can get rid of the curse. Yeah. So it's still kind of selfish. And then she was like, I want to save the world. Right. So, and I think like I didn't mind that as much. It was also kind of like but it's also like he gave it to her because he had it, and then he gave it to her, and she's like, here, you can go save the world, and just let me be cursed. And the whole I love him thing came into play, which very cliche. It's a Disney movie. We can't forget. Right, but I didn't mind that as much. But it didn't seem like it's the whole thing like where they say it's the journey, not the destination or whatever. So it was like during this journey, she kind of figured out like something like that. Even like the thing he said, he was like, if I can find one person that's world enough for me or something along those lines. He's like, and that kind of like played it back that like, oh, the world doesn't necessarily need the world. It could be just the person you love or the people you love kind of thing. Like that's your world. So I don't know. It was very cutesy when it came to stuff like that. Which I didn't mind for that one. What about some other things? Did anything else bug you?
What else bugged me? Oh, I like the tiger, by the way. Was that a cheetah or leopard? I'm so bad with species.
Probably a leopard.
Leopard. Let's call it a leopard. The leopard was great. The leopard didn't speak or anything, but it was a very loyal kind of sidekick to Dwayne Johnson's character, and very, very, like cat-like. And who doesn't love cats? Come on, cats are awesome. But that's just me, right? But the very nice character, like I didn't expect to like fall in love with the cat, and even the cat got so sad when Dwayne Johnson was all stoned up. not like that, but when he was, turned to stone, the cat was all sad, and you kind of got like empathetic and like, man, the cat's not gonna have anyone to protect anymore. That was their his ride or die companion, because he hasn't found a person yet, like how you were talking about. Everyone needs like a sidekick. When you're in a journey like that, Castaway had Wilson. This one you got the leopard. I like the leopard a lot. I did wish I were to see more of Prince Joaquin, but that's about it. Movie was pretty good. What about you, man? What was something that kind of stood out to you, really?
Honestly, well, here's one more joke for you. Yes. He goes, "I love my job as a skipper. In fact, my parents are so proud of my brother." Yeah, it's like he didn't say that in the movie, but that's when they say. Here's another one. He goes, "Their wingspan can grow to 12 inches. That's a whopping 1 foot." So, and it's like the entire ride is like that for like,
yes,
I want to say about 10 minutes, and it's amazing. The whole backside of water. I'm like, he has to do it because like Disney just loves it, and then sure enough, he does it. Where he does it kind of really even more cheesy. In the ride, you actually go behind a waterfall that they made. Yes. And they're like, oh, it's the eighth wonder of the world, type of thing. So,
one of the jokes that was kind of funny to me was when Emily Blunt, she's looking for somebody to take her on the Jungle Cruise, right? And so she goes looking for another person, another captain, because he has all these boats, but ends up running into Dwayne Johnson, and he's like, yeah, I'll get you over there. What do you say? Like 10,000 alive, 15,000 dead. Like, why would you pay more to bring me back?
Yeah, it was something weird like that. Yeah, it was their chemistry. Emily Blunt and The Rock, where it was so good, very very unexpected. I don't know if it's because Emily Blunt is a great actress and The Rock is very charismatic, that like anybody can kind of play off of him. And something like that, but them two together, I really like them together. I thought they were so much fun to watch. It wasn't like a weird kind of like thing, like love story where you're like, that's that's weird, but it was just them together, like bouncing off each other, with the very quick wit kind of stuff, because she's tough and he's obviously tough and stuff like that. And it was really good, like the punch in the face. I saw it in the trailer. They do it a few times, which is really good. They do it with her brother McGregor, and that was kind of like they didn't show that in the trailer, and I liked that because they show her punching The Rock, and he like doesn't budge. She like pops him, and he's like, "Oh no, good form." It was like, "Oh, that's awesome," But then the brother does it, and he's like, the same thing, doesn't budge, and he's like, "Oh, good form." He goes, "The whole family, good form." It was like something so silly that I thought was really funny. It was. Yeah, man. I don't know. I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was
one of the jokes. Another joke. I got you.
Go for it.
Something I forgot what he was talking about. He's like, "Yeah, I had a girlfriend. She was cross-eyed, so we never saw eye to eye."
Yeah. Yeah.
Zing.
She was always side-eyeing.
She was always seeing someone on the side.
On the side. Yeah.
So funny, man. Killer. His delivery is great, by the way. I don't think of The Rock as, or I always call him The Rock, but I don't think of The Rock as a comedian, but he got range. Homie got range.
Oh,
he either learned something from Kevin Hart, or he's just like you said, charismatic.
That was one thing me and my girlfriend were talking about. We're like, that's the world he comes from from WWE. It was like things weren't really planned. I mean, obviously the whole thing was planned and who's going to win and lose and stuff like that. But the talking wasn't really like planned out. It was very ad lib, very I can't think of the stupid word. Improvised. Yeah. And somebody like The Rock was able just to like boom, 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 like and nonstop. So it was like that's the world he lived in and grew up in and flourished in, and that's what he became The Rock, in WWE. So all those one-liners, those quick things, and then you had people like Stone Cold to like go off of, which Stone Cold again. Same thing, very quick-witted. He's just not as charismatic as The Rock, which I don't think why he didn't become a good actor. He just wasn't a good actor, where The Rock is like everything. He's got everything going for him, And but it was like, he was able to do that. And those corny jokes with somebody coming from like somebody like The Rock who knows how to deliver something like a joke, whether it be an insult or a joke or something like that. It was like, all right, these are corny jokes, so I have to deliver them certain ways, and it was so good. It was so good. I love The Rock. There's hardly any movie that he's in where I'm like, that sucked. You know, like I mean, he's been in like super kiddie movies, Tooth Fairy and stuff like that. But those are still like good movies for being like a kiddie movie, you know.
Yeah.
But he's been in very serious things too. You know, Pain and Gain, one of my favorite movies. You know,
he was funny as hell.
So I mean, talk about somebody who has range and you know. So he with improv, The Rock is the best. I don't think there's many people that can just like off the chain just can boom zinger. You know, the whole Fast and Furious thing. You know, with him and Tyrese, and that made Ludacris do the spit take.
Yeah,
where he's like, oh, hide your baby oil, and then The Rock just without even like hesitating, he's like, hide that big ass forehead, and then Ludacris like spit takes, and then they wind up keeping that in the movie. It was like,
that was awesome.
That's awesome, you know. That's super awesome, you know, and I feel like something like only The Rock can do that. So yeah, their chemistry was really good. There were things like I wish Jesse Plemons, Prince Joachim, even Jack Whitehall, the brother of McGregor, I wish they used them a little bit more. McGregor, I think they could have used them more. And Jesse Plemons, they could have used a lot more. Like you said, Prince Joachim, they could have used him a lot more. And I felt, and then they made him German, I think.
Yeah, that was
right.
Weird. Yeah.
They don't really explain, because he was in London when the movie first started. It started in London.
Yep.
You know, with this, like some art museum kind of, like a museum kind of stuff.
Yeah, they were getting some arrow that was needed for the quest.
Yeah, the arrowhead. That's right.
The arrowhead.
Yeah.
And it was started in London. Emily Blunt's character is from London, as well as her brother. The Rock, he had a super modern English accent. I mean, maybe that's one thing that bothered me. His modern ass accent. It sounded so off from all the other characters bringing this extraness with their accents, and The Rock's over here just America.
yeah.
But it didn't bother me. It was just something that like just kind of threw me off. But it wasn't a loss for the film. I don't think anything in this film was really like hate worthy. I didn't hate anything on the film really.
Yeah, I didn't. But that was what you said with their accents. It was definitely like for sure. You know, like all the conquistadors when they come back to life from their curse, they're all speaking Spanish. You know, like no English, which is cool. You know, even Jesse Plemons, I don't know if he's actually talking in German or if he's just kind of like, but that was German.
Yeah.
And then The Rock, I guess, with his whole curse is he winds up being like what 400 years old.
400 years old.
Like yeah. 400 years old. And it was like, I'm like, okay, cool. I guess you can lose certain things, you know, in that time. But it was like, but you also lived in the Amazon your entire life. How did you get an American accent? Like, dude, what? like all of Peru, or not most of Peru and Brazil was like taken over by the Spanish. Like you would not have lost that Spanish accent, like
not at all.
For sure. You know? So but yeah, that was one thing that bothered my girlfriend when they pulled out the map and they showed the map, and it was the Tears of the Skull or Tears of the Stone, but it was in Spanish.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was, and they said it with a crazy American accent, like hardcore, like you know, like me trying to pronounce the conquistador's name is like, I'm not gonna say with it, you know. But Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, they must have said that name of that place like 4 times in that one scene when she's first trying to hire him.
Right.
And the whole time my girlfriend's like, it's pronounced blah blah blah, and she says, you know, with the accent.
Yeah.
You know, which it kind of got me getting. I'm like, did they say it like that because they just can't say it with the accent, or were they told to not say it with the accent?
That's interesting.
You know? Yeah, because I started following on TikTok. I follow the which is funny, the woman who does the voiceovers or the voice things for TJ Maxx.
Oh,
and she's a Hispanic woman.
Okay, I think I might have seen her.
Yeah, and she's super cool. Like her voice, like very, you know, as soon as she was talking, I'm like, oh, I heard that a million times. But she said there's one TikTok where she was like, oh, she had to say it in Spanish, so she said in Spanish, and the people were like, I don't like how that sounds, and she said it again and again and again, and finally, like, she said it like very like Americanized, like with no accents, and they all loved it because I guess it's less threatening, as an American to hear somebody who's not like Spanish or Hispanic or whatever to say certain words,
right?
Because I'm like, I feel like The Rock could pronounce it correctly. Emily
so.
Blunt, I don't know. English people are pretty crappy with Spanish accents.
I mean, look at him. He has that tequila, thing that he's selling. That's all the stuff is kind of manufactured or kind of like produced in Mexico. He keeps showing little videos of himself, so he's got to have a little a little rub off of Spanish of how to say certain words. Like I'm sure if you spend enough time, if you spend like at least a week in any Spanish speaking country, you'll pick up a little bit of the accent.
That's why I was kind of wondering. I'm like, ever since I saw that TikTok and she was saying that, and I was like, I wonder if Disney is like, how about you drop the accent, Rock? It was like, because I feel like out of those two, he would definitely be able to say it. Like Paul Giamatti, I don't know if he can say it. He tried talking with like a weird like accent, and it came off really bad. That was another thing I was kind of like about. He was very goofy. That Paul Giamatti, I did not expect Paul Giamatti in this movie.
I didn't expect him either. He wasn't a big role, but I don't know. I like him. I'm a fan.
I didn't mind him. It just it threw me off. I think where but I guess it's like fat white guy is I won't say fat but bigger fat guy. Or, oh my god, the white guy is in Amazon taking over everything. I was like, that seems about right. But
it did. Oh, but what's funny? So like I'm kind of thinking back to the film, and spoiler alert, we always do this, but Paul Giamatti's character is kind of like an intimidating character, right? He's the guy that Dwayne Johnson's character owes money to. Something about how like he had his engine, reworked on thanks to Paul's character, and then Paul's like, "Yeah, where's my money? Where's my money?" Or he had his parrot speaking for him. He's like, "Frank owes me money."
That was funny.
Frank owes me money, and it was just so funny. But now that I'm thinking, The Rock is 400 years old. What the fuck is he scared of homie for? He's gonna outlive him anyways.
Yeah.
As soon as I found out about the age he was, I'm like, then why was he even tripping about like him owing him money? He could have like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Threw me off.
I don't know. I mean, it was really weird. It was like that whole dock that where The Rock was at and Paul Giamatti kind of owned. Because he owned all the boats at the dock, and it seemed like he owned kind of like the dock. Then you find out like The Rock's character Frank built it all. Like he started the town, he built the dock, he did all this, and like and like that was okay, but it was just I'm like, damn, like how'd you lose it? Like you built it, you should have been in charge of it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he did say he was very crazy about finding the arrowhead so he can reverse the curse kind of thing. So maybe he just didn't care about the town. I don't know. I mean, then why build the town?
Right.
I don't know. So obviously there's some little things, nothing major about it. It was pretty well done. It's just The Rock is so freaking huge, man. It was me, or did he look a little goofy in the little hat and the little vest?
Oh, he did
with these massive
it was an ironic costume. It was an ironic costume.
Yeah, right.
It definitely came off like that. I mean, he kind of showed off his skills, right? In like the first 30 minutes of the film, he kept showing him like in the bar or whatever pub they were at. He was like doing some fighting scenes and showing off his muscles. I didn't expect that. I haven't seen that from The Rock in a while. Usually, when wrestlers from the WWE go on to the big screen, one of their first movies, they always like try to like show that off in the film. I've seen it with John Cena in The Marine. I've seen it with Kane in his like scary movie films. They always try to show off all their like little special moves, the elbow and all that. He didn't do too much of that in this film, but he did show off like his bigness. You can't show off the muscles without showing off what they can do.
Yeah, he's just a massive guy. I don't think he can never be small. He just keeps getting bigger. But when he first started like doing movies, like when he did a lot of the kiddie movies back then, he did a lot of the eyebrow. He doesn't really do the eyebrow that much, really ever anymore. But yeah, he did do a lot of that. I think when he first started, they're like, oh, we want the Rock from The Ring, and then that slowly kind of, I think it was that movie he did with John Travolta.
Ooh.
With the money one to get Shorty, I think, or something like that. He was in that movie. He was a kind of a weirdy goofball character, and he lost a lot of weight for that character because he wasn't big. He wasn't this big. He was big. Yeah. He wasn't this big. So I don't know. But the director was the Sierra Jome Cole Sierra.
Yep.
He's done good movies, like pretty good movies. Where is it?
Young guy too. He looks young.
Yeah.
74.
He did Run All Night. I don't know if you've seen that one. The Shallows. He did. He was executive producer of The Shallows.
Orphan, the newer Orphan.
The Orphan. Yes, he did the Orphan.
House of Wax, who's the director as well.
Yeah.
Was Emily Blunt in there too? I could have sworn she was, or some.
In House of Wax, I don't remember.
Some blonde chick was in there. I don't remember who.
Oh, I think it was one of those reality TV chicks. Paris Hilton, I think, was it?
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He did the Enrique Iglesias short video. So
Sure.
I mean, he kind of does everything. But the next big thing is he's working with The Rock again, and they're doing Black Adam. So,
Can't wait.
I think they kind of like they must kind of like each other. That they're both kind of you don't accidentally get on the same film together like that unless
Right.
It's got to be on purpose. So either the director really liked him or The Rock really liked him because I think they signed The Rock 4 years ago at this point. Like they said so long ago that he's gonna be Black Adam that
They did.
Yeah.
So long ago.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean this director done pretty good stuff, pretty good stuff. So The Orphan was awesome. I just love The Orphan. Super kind of pretty scary movie. Not the worst. But yeah, man, anything else, any random thing that you liked or didn't like before we move on?
Man, nah. I think we kind of touched on everything. We've touched on the accent. The accent was kind of a big thing that kind of it wasn't gonna make or break the movie, but it definitely makes you think like, oh damn, imagine if The Rock did have an accent. But no, everything was well done. I like the cast. I like how they included like a gay person.
We didn't even talk about that.
In the 1900s, the early 1900s.
Yeah,
that's very, very crazy talk back then. People of the LGBT plus community were not accepted back then. Not even close.
No. And they even say that in the movie. It was like he was supposed to be something, and then he decided not to take a wife, blah, blah, blah. Right. And his whole family, he just got disowned by everybody. And the only person that stood around and still loved him was his sister, who was Lily, Emily Blunt, and that's why he even said, he goes, I will follow her into a volcano or something. He said something along those lines. Right. But he never said it.
No,
he never said I'm gay or anything like that.
The one line that told me he was gay was he was like, yeah, she stayed by my side despite who I loved. So why would who you love be a problem if it was a woman back then? There would be no problem unless there was unless it was maybe black, then maybe there would be a problem. But besides that, he was either in an interracial relationship or he was gay. Those were the only two options you could have gone with. What he said when he said, she stayed with me because of who I loved and didn't like me because of who I loved. So that makes me think that he was gay. You're right. There wasn't like an exact confirmation, if you will, but
it was very beating around the bush. But I mean,
it was implied.
You definitely knew. Yeah, because he said what you said, and he also said something like, he goes, I wouldn't have her as a wife. He goes, in fact, I wouldn't have any woman as a wife. And something like that. But that was really interesting that Disney did that.
Right.
But I guess some people are still a little upset because it's never the main character. It's always a side character that winds up being gay or anything like that. Which, I guess it's a start. I don't know. It was cool. I love Jack White's character. McGregor. I thought he was awesome. He kind of became very timid and scared of everything, and a very different person at the end of the film, which is really awesome.
Oh yeah, they all kind of went through their own hero's journey, if you will. If you ever dug into American literature, but he's definitely the one that maybe got the most out of the trip, because he was a more timid person, and at the end he's whooping ass. He's
that was got the face paint by the warriors.
At the start of the movie, he was all about, oh, can you take my 1,000 bags to your trip, because I need every last one of those things. And then at the end, he's like, yeah, like whatever. Trip's on.
Yeah, that was cool. Petting the cat and stuff like that, and
right.
That was pretty interesting about that one. But yeah, I mean, those are the big thing was the rebooted Trader Sam, which we already talked about, and McGregor's being gay. It's pretty cool. But yeah, man, you want to get into our official ratings?
Hell yeah. All right, so pretty much the way we do it at Spoiler Kings, we review movies based off of 3 factors. Is it a watch now? Is it a watch later? Or is it a watch never? Watching it now means you got to watch it or else you're going to miss out. Watch later means it's an okay film, but it's not priority. And watch never means don't even give it time of day. What you think, man?
So for me, Jungle Cruise is definitely a watch now. It was just a fun movie you can watch with the family. It had a lot of action, nothing too crazy. Kind of very funny at times with the corny jokes. It was just a movie that was very, for me, well done. I came in with very low expectations and left like wanting to watch it again. It was a great movie for me. Watch it now. What about you, man? What did you think about the movie?
Yeah, Jungle Cruise, I think, was a great film all around. I wouldn't say it's like Hall of Fame or nothing. It was fun to watch with the family. It's definitely worth spending the $30 if you want to watch it at home. Kind of had that option because it was on Disney Plus as well. But it's a nice one to watch at the theaters, and I would definitely watch it again because of all the corny jokes. I'm a sucker for puns, so this made it work for sure.
Yeah. So what would you give it? Now, later, or never?
Oh, I'm sorry. I would rate it now. I would rate it right now. Watch it right now.
Give it a now.
Great film.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, we both liked it. I know I had text Alfredo, one of the other guys over on the Nerd Huddle, and he said he did not care about it at all. He said he did not like it. I don't know where he would put him in the category of later or never, but he said it was just I think he's something along the lines. I don't mean to speak for him. He says it was like a bootleg Jumanji. It was a bootleg Jumanji.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I can see, especially with The Rock being in it, it is, but I think it was a very different story, all around.
I never caught that movie, but you know what movie did kind of remind me of this one? A little bit of The Mummy from back in the 90s.
Yes.
The Mummy really hit home with the whole plot of, hey, the female character needs to get to this crazy destination, but she needs someone to take her there. Boom. Back then it was O'Connor, the guy who's kind of same thing. A lot of similarities between both these films, The Mummy and Jungle Cruise. But I wouldn't say Jungle Cruise stole anything from them. I wouldn't say that because they did their own thing, their own flavor to definitely. The genre, if you want to call it one, like hero movies or cruise movies. Yeah, it was
adventure. I think adventure movie.
Adventure. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. But that's what it kind of reminded me of, and I was okay with it. Usually, when movies remind me of other ones, I usually get disgusted because I'm like, why they copy them with this, But no, I didn't get that at all. Did I care about the movie? Did I get invested? A little bit. Some of the sad scenes at the end, it kind of hit home. I wasn't gonna cry or anything or tear up, but it was definitely one to watch it to the end. I watched this movie not in one sitting. I watched it in 2 parts, kind of, and I was actually mad. I was mad that I had to stop watching for the first part because I was getting into it. I'm usually not like that with most films. Some of the even other action ones that we watched in the past, if you want to check out some of our other videos, some of those films I've watched in halves or different parts, and I wouldn't care too much that I had to pause it. While this one, it's kind of more invested. I liked it.
Yeah, definitely. The Mummy, definitely, because as soon as you said The Mummy, instantly hit home. I was like, it was exactly even the time frame was like old early 1900 kind of thing. So they were wearing those old timey clothes and stuff like that. 100% the Mummy, the good Mummy with Brendan Fraser, not with Tom Cruise. That one sucked.
Right.
Yeah, very good. So before we get into some critics, we'll talk some box office stuff.
Oh, yeah,
so it opened with an estimated total of 90 million global, including 34 million domestic, 27 million international, and about 30 million Disney Plus premiere access. Not bad. Not about 90 million. I think it was a little bit over, like I want to say almost 91-ish. But yeah, that is pretty good for a movie. I think definitely the other drama that Disney's having with Black Widow.
Stay tuned
this
for
kind of
that.
yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about that. But this kind of puts Disney back in a good light. They're like, oh, see, like we can still have a decent box office with having Disney Plus kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good for opening weekend. Still COVID, obviously, and all that stuff.
Right.
90 mil is kind of the new, I want to say bar. I think if once a movie breaks like 100 mil, that for opening weekend, then I think we'll really start seeing a change. But right here, this is right there at that limit. Pretty good. So I'm assuming you watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I watched it at home, Disney Plus.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right,
I hated that I had to spend that little extra, but the movie was okay, so I'm not even mad.
Not too bad. Here I'm gonna hit you with another Jungle Cruise ride joke. It goes, everyone watch out for Ginger. Ginger snaps. That's right. She's one tough cookie. I know. It's a crumbly joke or a crummy joke, but I milk it for all I can.
Nah. I fucking love it, man.
Dude.
I fucking love jokes like that.
Yeah,
like dad jokes.
Yeah, the whole thing like of the what the joke is that I get paid for the number of people I take out, not the number of people I bring back. Like, and he even says that he goes, "It's more money if I bring it back alive." Blah blah blah. That's one of the jokes that they say in the ride. Like as they're pulling up, kind of thing.
That's funny.
So it was like, yeah.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, earlier I was asking, I was like, hey, how many so that's something they actually do in the real ride? They're like, silly shit like that. That's funny.
Oh, dude, it's that's what makes the ride. What makes the ride is stuff like that.
So I've done something similar to a Jungle Cruise, but it's like not the jungle. I've done like one of those architecture tours on the boat.
Oh yeah,
when you go on the river in Chicago. I did something like that where someone's talking and they kind of say some silly, goofy shit, but nothing near this.
This is the entire ride. As soon as you step on to as you're walking off, it is nonstop corny dad jokes. It is the best. And some of them like there's the first rule of the jungle, survival of the fittest, as shown by the pride of lions protecting the sleeping zebra. So there's a bunch of lions over the zebra. And then everyone he goes, I'm just kidding, kids, he's dead. It's like you're like, what?
That's great.
Yeah, so it's so good, man. It's definitely one of my favorite rides. So let's get into the last part where we talk about Rotten Tomatoes. The tomato meter gave it 62%. That's the critics, and the audience score is a 93%. So pretty decent, almost what 29% points.
Yeah.
So it's not rotten, but it's not certified fresh on there. Right. So go over a couple reviews real quick. At Home in Hollywood.com said the best Disney ride movie since Pirates of the Caribbean. Pure good, clean fun with a surprising supernatural twist and puns. Plenty of puns. So, which it did. It's so good. Thank you. Chicago Made Punk goes that Oli.
Yeah, it's Oli.
Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for the support. If you haven't already, please share the stream. We are live right now. We go every Monday. And don't forget to subscribe. Show a little support. Let us say, let us know, that you're in the chat. Tell us hi. Don't be shy. You don't have to.
Yeah.
We appreciate the support.
Yeah, you could be part of the show, man, because we put up the comments up on the screen. So let's see a couple ones. So here's one. NBC News think didn't like it. She said ultimately Jungle Cruise is not good. It's not good enough to make viewers ever forget that this is a film designed to bring Disney fans back to the park. But the only thing is like this movie was supposed to come out before COVID.
Oh. So
like I think the first trailer came out like at the beginning of 2020. Before COVID really kind of everything got blocked up and everything like that. So it is, but also that's the whole point. That's what Disney does with everything. Everything they do is like, hey, we have a ride for that. We have a ride for that. Like the Little Mermaid ride, which I'm like, whatever. It was awesome. Like the ride itself was amazing ride. It was like, it made me want to go watch the Little Mermaid again with my girlfriend. It was like, so it was like everything it is. It's like, yes, that's what Disney does. They do things so they can sell you on it. You know what I mean? Like I want to go to Disneyland out in California where they have the new Avengers thing for the sole purpose of I want an Infinity Gauntlet that holds my pop. Dude, that is the greatest thing. It's a big hand, like the whole kind of big hand thing that you put in, and it has the thing where it holds the pop for you. But it's the Infinity Gauntlet.
Love it.
I want it. So, but I'm like, that's what Disney does. You can't be surprised at that. So they all kind of go back. One more Rolling Stone, the big guy. It's something closer to an amusement park attraction named Generic Blockbuster Cruise, where you slowly glide past a bunch of prefab setups and the whole thing moves forward on a track while the skipper cracks the same corny jokes. And he gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I'm like, ooh, everything he said was amazing. Like what? Like that's basically what the ride is a bunch of corny, stupid things on the side of the road, and the person in charge, the skipper, the captain, says these corny jokes. What? I want in. Give it to me. So Chicago made punk.
We do
little hearts.
Comment on the screen. Hell yeah.
Appreciate it. But cool, man. Anything else?
Nah, I think you should go watch this film. That's it for me, man.
Yeah. So I don't know what is coming out next week. I didn't really get a chance to take a look at what's coming out big next week.
Okay.
So we'll figure that out. But I know things on the list. We're gonna definitely do Free Guy, the new Ryan Reynolds movie. That's gonna come out. We're gonna do that one for sure. Obviously Suicide Squad. We're doing that one when that's coming out. And then a bunch of other Candyman's coming out pretty soon. That's gonna be a good one. Stuff like that. So, if you make sure you guys stick around so when we go live and we review all these new movies coming out. So yeah, I gotta go through and see what the schedule looks like.
It sounds like it's gonna be Suicide Squad, right? Did that just come out?
Is it? I think it's coming out soon.
August 6th.
I don't know when. Oh crap! Really?
Yeah, that's what it's showing on. Well, I don't know. I'm looking it up right now, but it's showing Suicide Squad theatrical and HBO Max release August 6th. August 11th, there's The Kissing Booth 3, and then let's see that other weekend. Oh, that's for this weekend, right? Yeah, that's this weekend. Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, Suicide Squad. So we're doing Suicide Squad, man, for sure. So we'll do that one for sure. Yeah, and then like you said, there's a bunch of other ones. All the Disney movies that are coming out, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So if you're watching us live, stick around. We're gonna do some post show and we're gonna film another episode. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and you get to hang out with us every Monday night while we talk all the movie goodie and stuff like that. But you can also make sure you check out everyone over on the Nerd Huddle. Tomorrow we got Panda and Grizzly with Alfredo, Marvin, and Brian, and they talk about Chicago Bears. They're gonna do all your training camp Chicago Bears stuff. I think they're gonna do another mock draft for fantasy football. So go watch them for all that advice. And then Wednesdays we got Dynasty Pylon, Martin and Mark, where they do your Dynasty fantasy football and your IDP fantasy football. I think they're gonna wing it this year, so they're this week. So they're just going to talk about a bunch of news and updates and stuff like that, which much stuff is going on in football if you guys haven't watched that yet. And then Thursday over on the Nerd Huddle channel, Did We Just Become Best Friends, where we talk about trending and all the other stuff. I think we're going to talk about some Olympics and get into some of the other drama online. Sundays, Morning Spike, fantasy football is coming around the corner, so we're getting ready for that. We're going to do a bunch of get ready kind of stuff, mock drafts. We're going to break down the preseason games, training camps, all your news, info, all that stuff for football. And then every week right here on the Spoiler Kings movie review channel, me and Will, we're going to break down all the movies of the weekend, or the biggest movie of the weekend, and let you know what we think about it. So every link to all the channels are down in the subscription. Give love to all those guys, man. Everyone is awesome. Fun to watch. But thank you guys for watching this week. Any last words, Will?
Nah, peace out. Be safe.
Peace out. Yep. And if you're watching live, stick around. We're going to do some post-show stuff. All right. Later.
Deuces.